Thank you, Mrs. Lawton, for inviting me into your home. Yes, thank you. No, this is fine. We can definitely speak at the kitchen table. I'm a little surprised by the orange place setting. Oh, yes. Halloween theme. Yes, I guess that is coming up, isn't it? Mrs. Lawton, thank you for agreeing to speak with me regarding your husband's position at the company. The truth is, well, honestly, Mrs. Lawton, my name is not Wainwright. No. Oh, you might want to look out your kitchen window. Yes, you'll notice there's no cars driving past, even though the street outside your kitchen window is usually a very busy one, even this time of the day. Yes. Oh, and by the way, all of your neighbors, yes, we evacuated them from all of their houses. Oh, especially the women. Yes. Oh, come now, Mrs. Lawton. You know exactly why we did that. Oh, and you might notice that all of the people on the sidewalk, yeah, those are men. All of them. And as for why your street is so quiet, we closed off both ends of it. Oh yes, with real police officers, real uniforms, real police cars. Yeah, oh, no. Mrs. Lawton, you might want to stop inching over towards that butcher knife you have on the counter there. Yes, that would be a bad idea. You might have noticed that you can't see my left hand. Well, that's not because I'm rude, it's because I'm left-handed, and yeah, I've got my little Smith & Wesson 38 pointed right at you underneath the table, and if I pull the trigger, well, we both know what's going to happen, don't we, Mrs. Lawton? Yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. You see, there are no female bodies for you to take over if I decide to pump that one full of lead. Very crude term, I apologize, but hold on, hear me out. You see, if I wanted you dead, you'd already be dead. Then again, you are dead, aren't you, Mrs. Lawton? Or the real Mrs. Lawton is dead. You want to know who I am? Well, we'll get to that. But first, let's get to that unfortunate traffic accident in which you got T-boned. Yes, very unfortunate. Oh, I'm not referring to the current body you're occupying. I'm referring to the previous one. Short, blonde, very curvy. Yes. It must have been very painful crawling out of that vehicle. You were so determined to live. Legs twisted, mangled, broken. Barely able to see out of one eye. Crawling on the ground with one arm because the other one was also mangled and broken. And all around you, Everyone just stood by, gasping, taking pictures. Oh, there was one individual, yes, white shirt, black cargo pants, salt and pepper hair. Yeah, an older individual. He was actually on the phone with 911 trying to get you some help. There was one other person who helped, or at least tried to, didn't she? Yes, a young woman named Emma Lawton. Young nurse ran up to you, and what did you do? In the blink of an eye, you stole her body, took over. And your old body, well, now that it wasn't occupied anymore, yeah, it died. Your new body, Emma's body, oh, tell me something. When you stood up as yourself, with Emma's soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, gone, destroyed, when you took over her body, why did you grab her purse? The one she set down beside her when she knelt down to try to help you. Why did you take it with you? And don't tell me it was because of the money. Yeah. Your kind has accounts, hidden accounts all over the world that you can access when you take over a new body if you're short of money. After all, you've had centuries or several millennia to put aside large sums of money into those hidden accounts. You and every single other individual of your kind. You didn't need the money in her purse. So why did you grab it? Oh yes, pragmatism. You wanted to see if she had any photos, pictures of family, any ID, that sort of thing. Anything that could come in handy. Anything where if a family member walked up to you, you'd be able to recognize them and greet them and then wish them a good day. But the only family pictures in there were of Emma's husband and children, her two little ones. She had actually gone back to work at the hospital only 2 months earlier. Yeah, after giving birth to the twins, a little boy, a little girl. Yes. Oh, you noticed almost immediately that her breasts were tender and full of, well, as a man I wouldn't know about such things, but you would. Oh, yes, you would. You and your kind. Well, I mean, let's face it. Do you want the short version? Let's see. You're not a demon, and your kind aren't demons either. You're not shapeshifters. You just take over bodies of other women, and that's what you all were. Many, many millennia ago on your planet, weren't you? Yes, that's what you were. And you were basically little more than slaves to the men on your planet. And then one of your sisters, I use that term in a general sense, one of your sisters got upset and was able to convince you and a bunch of other women that they should be treated better, Now, what did the men do? They rounded you all up. They destroyed your bodies on purpose. And they took your alien consciousness and they put them into, well, they put them into what we human beings refer to as rubies. On your planet, I guess they were plentiful, practically worthless. On ours, they're extremely valuable. Large rubies as part of the containers to house your consciousness. So many of you. Ah, yes, these old houses. Always an issue with the generators. Your husband was complaining about that, wasn't he? Oh, yes, he was. Or I should say Emma's husband. Well, getting back, those men decided to make an example out of you and approximately how many of your sisters? Oh, go on. I already know the story. That sounds about right. There's a little discrepancy about the number, but yeah, that sounds about right. An amazingly large amount. Just got rid of you. Put you on a spaceship and they sent you over to their planetary penal colony. Something went wrong, though. Ship got knocked off course. Crew died. And the ship got buried on an ice-cold, frozen planet during the Ice Age known as Earth. And that's where you stayed. But there was a problem, wasn't there? Some of your sisters woke up. They weren't in stasis anymore. They woke up and they knew what was happening. How long was it before the first cavemen discovered your ship and were tantalized by those shiny little rubies? Oh yes, as human beings, we love shiny things. Yes, we're pathetic that way. But yeah, those cavemen found those rubies and they brought them back after the earth had thawed to all of their cave women. Yeah. But each and every single ruby, oh, not each and every single one, just a few had cracks in them. And from the cracks, you and your sisters were able to take over the bodies of those cave women. And then you went back to the ship and you freed the rest of your sisters, some of whom had gone insane because they had been awake. For how long? But not you, though. You were one of the ones who managed to continue to sleep in stasis. Yes. Rather unfortunate what happened to the ones who were awake. Imagine being fully awake, fully conscious, not being able to do a damn thing. For how many lifetimes? Ooh. But there was a problem, wasn't it? Yeah. See, even though when your kind takes over the body of a woman and you destroy her consciousness, her spirit, her soul, whatever you want to call it, and even though just being in that host body, the body lasts about twice as long and you age much, much more slowly, there's still a problem, isn't there? Because after that first takeover, if you need to transfer bodies again, you have to find another woman or another girl, even a little one. Otherwise, you die in pain and screaming. How do I know that? Oh, we can talk about that later. But see, at first your kind wasn't careful. And now there's a secret underground organization all over the planet that knows about you. But only we Americans, oh, and the French, know the truth. Yes, everyone else just thinks you're a bunch of shape-shifting demons, or demons who take over other bodies. We know the truth, so do the French. Let me ask you this. How come you're not able to take over the bodies of men? Oh, I see. Yeah. Too much rage, anger, testosterone. Even in older men, it starts to drive you insane and you have to leave, so you don't bother. And when you do exit the bodies of men, the men, their souls are intact. They come back. The women, you exit their bodies, even if you're in them for only a few seconds, they die. Well, that is interesting. It is a theory that one of our scientists had. Oh, yes. Well, the French call your kind Sumjacks. We have a different name for you. And I don't speak French, so I'm probably butchering that way of pronouncing things. Who cares? But listen, Emma, or whoever the hell you are, I'm curious because our research shows that your kind takes over bodies, but you don't gain their memories and you don't gain their skill sets. So how are you able to go back to work as a nurse at the hospital? Oh, I see. So hundreds of years ago, you, the actual you, in the body of a different woman, went and became a registered nurse. So you actually have more skills than the real Emma, who right now is dead and gone, but her husband and children have no clue. Wow. That is fast. Oh, there we go again, these old houses and those generators. So that's how you were able to take over Emma's job at the hospital. You never inherited any of her memories or her skill set or her training. You trained long ago to be a nurse. And let me guess, you found Emma's address in her purse. You found her car keys. You found a photo with Emma standing in front of her brand new car with the license plate showing. So you just walked around until you found the same make, model, color, and license plate, got in, and you drove to the address on her driver's license. You drove home. And instead of starting a brand new life like your kind always do, practically always, this is unheard of, you decided to take over her life. Why? Humor me. You've been a mother before, haven't you? So many times, haven't you? Yes. So many times. Been a long time since you've been a mother, hasn't it? And well, you ended up getting the gift of a brand new body. A rather attractive one, I might say. Sorry, didn't mean to offend you. But you have to admit, other than that one ugly little tattoo on her upper arm, you ended up with a very nice body. Quite frankly, better than your old one. But, all right, the main thing, the children, they needed a mother. And you just had a gut feeling that Emma's husband was a good man, and you were right. So you came to their home and you decided to play happy wife, happy mom. You decided to play house for these last 9 months. How has it been? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No. Don't get angry. Don't get upset. I'm not here to destroy your happy new life. Here's how it works. Once every week, you're going to tell your husband and kids that you are visiting a new friend or a relative that you haven't seen for years. Actually, no. If it's a relative, your husband will want to meet her. Say it's a new friend. And once a week, you go to visit, and you're gone for about an hour. You come to one of our offices. Everyone there knows what you are, but there's very few people there. You let us take a blood sample. We ask you a few questions. Nothing too invasive. And then you get to go home. And in exchange for that, we keep your secret. Plus, we protect you. Oh no, not just from us. Like I said, there are only 2 large organizations that know what your kind really is. We know, and there's one in France, but there are a lot of smaller organizations led by very religious people who will swear that you are nothing but demons who need to be exterminated. We can keep you safe from them as long as you cooperate. Good. Now, sit down and we'll work out the details.